I see it going. Nice. Hake is live. What's up, guys? I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report, and it is Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. Get ready for a show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
What a mess. Yes, the show dropped again, and I don't know at what point the show dropped, but you probably missed the song. Trevor Wesley's beautiful song of the Hake Report. Psh, such a shame. Oh, what a shame. Such a bad way to live. Man, and it's still blinking. Okay, I should be back. All right, I should be back. God jump cutted my intro song so that you guys could skip right to here. I'm talking to the people on podcast and watching the show later. They don't know that we just dropped for like a moment, a full-on moment. What a mess. Dang. God is punishing me for listening to the Jesse Lee Peterson show in the back of my mind. When I'm trying to prepare the Hake news and the Hake Report and all this mess. So anyways, let's move on. We all know that there's a big discrimination ploy against the Hake Report by, I don't know if it's Boomer Tech or Black Tech or the COVID thing. And I will be getting to your calls. It's 888-775-3773. Appreciate you guys calling in already with your topics. And I do want to talk to you. Hang tight, though. Let me quickly, real quick, first get to a couple of things. I want to touch briefly on this Minnesota police knee on the neck of a black guy, the black criminal incident. And I call him a black criminal because, not because of the alleged fraud that he was arrested for, but because he allegedly resisted arrest. That makes you a criminal. That makes you a criminal. You've heard about this, I'm sure. Drudge reports, man dies after video shows officer kneeling on the guy's neck. The black guy said, "I can't breathe." People trying to compare it to Eric Garner. This incident may or may not be worse than Eric Garner, or who knows, whatever. By the way, Eric Garner resisted arrest as well. Got himself killed. He was out of shape. And so he couldn't handle the resistance that he experienced when he resisted arrest. What a mess. And of course, and his own daughter too died of like a heart attack at like, and she was a single mother, I think. At age 27, 28, Erica Garner, right? Was it Erica Garner? I'm pretty sure she died of the same thing that he died of, which was a heart attack. Psh, dang. And what did the mob do? They eventually got the cop, Officer Pantaleo, fired. Thank you, socialist, anti-American, anti-white, anti-justice Mayor Bill de Blasio. The stupid, evil Black Lives Matter types invade, and fake pastors, fake black pastors, invaded a Democrat debate just this past year when Bill de Blasio was trying to run for president. What a joke. And they're like, oh, arrest or fire Officer Pantaleo. Eventually he got fired. He maintains that he did not do a so-called illegal, which means against department policy, chokehold, right? He said it was a seatbelt thing. I don't know. And I heard that he only had Eric Garner for, 13 seconds? Something like that. So anyways, over here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, that was in New York City, several years, 5 years ago at least, maybe 4, maybe 6 years ago. Might have been my birthday, 2014, July 17th, 2014, Eric Garner. I don't know if I remember right, something like that. But anyways, the other day, this guy died. His name was George Floyd. He's dead. He was going to be arrested for fraud, right? Alleged fraud. And allegedly he resisted arrest. Maybe something about I'm claustrophobic. And he gets put on the ground. And I have some pictures of these cops. And I also have some pictures purportedly of the cop, but it's disputed. They're pretty sure that it's not actually the cop. I'm going to get to that. But protesters were rioting, of course, because this guy eventually got killed. There was video of it. The blacks like to film the police, right? They like to film the cops. And, I'm not necessarily for body cameras on the police and filming all the incidents, because what happens is a lot of females and female-minded people, faint of heart, watch men do men's work, police do police work, and police work and men's work is not pretty. And the meddling females and female-minded liberals and the faint of heart think, oh, this looks brutal. Oh, police brutality. When in reality, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just overreacting to something, and they're putting all the scrutiny on the cops and zero scrutiny on the blacks. You saw it, clear example of it in the Jesse Lee Peterson show with I think might have been the first caller on the Jesse Lee Peterson show this morning, about some guy wanting to ignore the root issue. Blacks, you want to avoid these instances with cops? Don't commit crimes. And if you gotta commit crimes, don't resist arrest. Let the hate out of your heart so that you don't hate whites, you don't hate cops, you don't hate jail and overreact to jail. You're not gonna like hell any better. You're not gonna like death any better, I don't think. So don't be so scared of jail that you're willing to risk your life. And that's what these blacks do, take their lives in their hands when they escalate unnecessarily, recklessly. And I don't know if these guys are going to hell, but I'm telling you, it's a mess. So, of course, the blacks rioted in Minneapolis last night, tagging up a police vehicle, throwing objects, being a mess. And everybody knows they don't actually care. They just hate cops. Disgusting female Gayle King says America is not a safe place for black men. Please. Go somewhere else then. I would love that. This dumb Russian Jewish mayor, liberal, who's my age, hates Trump, and Trump has called him out in the past, by the way. This mayor of Minneapolis, a 38-year-old, babyface, said being black in America should not be a death sentence. Talk about deceptive, evil language, right? Typical lie. That's called a high verbal IQ lie, right? But you may not have seen this. This was supposedly trending on Twitter. Make whites great again. I have the pictures of this. Supposedly, Ice Cube, who's a dumb black rapper who hates cops and whites and blacks. Very successful man over the years, though. Wasn't he in NWA? Yeah. Since he was a kid, too. Since he was a kid, what?
They've always had that resentment towards the cops. I mean, they were young in that group.
I remember him, like one of his famous songs is the police harassing me because I'm a black man.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And they were young.
Because you're a criminal. Yeah, and they were young. And they pretend that, this is just black culture. This has been the culture for decades. This is not new. And they're right. It's not new, this hatred towards police. They've been born and bred and marinated in it, to use Oprah's words for how supposedly white racists have been born and bred and marinated in racism, and they just have to die. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, he shared this tweet, this picture, side by side of the cop who had his knee on the neck, and it looks pretty crazy. The cop looks kind of, I don't know, arms almost as skinny as mine. And but then he's like, his knee is on that guy's neck. In my opinion, it's hard to watch, but you know, I got a little mama in me, I guess. I'm just not tough. I liked that line, that one black guy who said, "He is human, bro." But this guy had, maybe he was high on drugs and had that superhuman strength where it takes 3 or 5 or 6 cops to take him down. I think that I saw 3 cops on him. There may be another picture where you see these cops from behind with this guy from across the street with 3 guys on this black dude. Let me know if you see it. I think I dragged it in the folder. But you're looking at another picture of a white guy, supposedly white guy. It says, "Make whites great again." You don't see it? Okay. Yeah, but regardless, there were a bunch of cops on this guy. 3, at least, I think. But it said, "Make whites great again," right? And there's this skinny-ish white guy. It says, wearing a Trump-style hat, like a MAGA hat, "Make America Great Again" hat. But instead it says, "Make whites great again." Who can disagree with that? Right? Well, Ice Cube said, "That's a wolf in wolf's clothing. The demons are among us. Hashtag fight the cowards." I don't know. I guess the only way that he can remotely call either of these guys, cowards, is that the black dude is helpless at that point. He's not moving. And so you should probably move with the neck to the shoulder, in my opinion, but my opinion is not completely informed, right? To Jesse's point, and Jesse makes a great point. So just wait and see. We don't know. So then some other Twitter user fact checks Ice Cube, but this other Twitter user is a liberal. Did I give you this one? Yeah. Okay. This guy named Corey, he tweeted, "The blank, the A word hole, in the middle, in the 'Make Whites Great Again' hat is, according to this guy, Jonathan Riches, supposedly a federally convicted felon." Whatever that means, right? I don't know what he did to commit a federal crime, and I don't know if that's true what he's saying. But he's saying, in short, that he is not the cop shown here, and he uses the term "murdering George Floyd," Derek, and the cop's name is Derek Chauvin, as in Western chauvinist. I'm kidding. But that's how it's spelled, Chauvin. Chauvin is supposedly this officer's, I say former, as if he's already fired, his name. Oh, I didn't show you the picture. I didn't give you the pictures, did I? Let me see if I can find them. Where could I have put them? Hold on, Joel, because I gotta, if I can find these, I'm gonna show these to you. Never mind, I can't find them. But supposedly this guy appeared at a Trump rally, maybe in Minneapolis. What happened? Oh, okay. Maybe in Minneapolis, Minnesota, this guy shook Trump's hand. He went on stage because he was among a bunch of cops, Trump-supporting cops or whatever, or at least cops who went to this thing. And Trump called him on stage. And so supposedly there's a picture of this guy shaking Trump's hand. So they're trying to pin this on Trump, President Trump, right? Ridiculous. So silly. So anyways, I just wanted to show you that "Make Whites Great Again." Supposedly it's not true. It's not for what the officer wasn't wearing it. And if he did, so what? He has a right. He wasn't in his officer clothes. Make whites great again. That's not a so-called racist thing, but pro-black Ice Cube thinks being pro-white is quote-unquote racist. Typical, sucker. Typical. Yeah, they say it's a hoax. So let me show you guys another excuse of this black so-called conservative who hates white people, hates Jesse Lee Peterson, hates blacks. Oh, yeah. There's the picture.
But that doesn't look like him, though.
It's hard to tell. Who knows, right?
The guy on the left looks like him.
The guy further left? All whites look the same.
Or maybe he just lost a little weight, so it's hard to make him out.
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe he just has skinny arms and you can't see his arms, so you don't recognize him. Who knows? But they're just grasping at straws, kind of trying to dox this guy. What a mess.
Look at that smile. It's harmless.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything wrong. It was like the guy that I said who shot the mail lady. Aww. With a baby, he has a baby face. He's a 21-year-old black guy who shot a mail lady because she wouldn't deliver mail to his house because the dog was out of control and they wouldn't control the dog. And so the mail lady posted on Facebook, guess who's not getting a stimulus check? Because the stimulus checks were coming in from the coronavirus. People weren't allowed to work. So Trump sent them money, $1,200. But they had their mail suspended and they wouldn't refuse to sign the letter about the dog. Psh, typical blacks not following the rules. I told you yesterday about a white lady who wasn't following the rules, and then the black guy was on her about it. Anyways, I'll get to that. I'm going to get to that. And I am going to get to your calls. Some of you guys dropped off. Be patient. This guy, you show the Maj Touré pics. I just want to show you another, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because what's his name called this Make Whites Great Again, a wolf in wolf's clothing. Okay, so this is from this guy named Maj Touré, and I wasn't really familiar with him, but he founded this thing called Black Guns Matter, and I'm sure that you've heard that phrase before or seen memes or T-shirts. One guy went to a Bernie rally, a black guy went to a Bernie rally and got in a fight. I played it on the Hake Report a few months ago, maybe. Well, this guy, Maj Touré, is the one who founded the Black Guns Matter. And what does he do? He posts this meme of this cop on the black dude's knee. I mean, with cop with his knee on the black dude's neck, kneeling, right next to a picture of the disgusting clown-haired Colin Kaepernick. Clown hair being the afro. He really looks like a clown, like that. Colin Kaepernick, so-called kneeling for the anthem, because he's not going to stand up and respect a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. Cops are getting away with murder, and they're getting paid leave, is what he said. No, it's a lie. He hates black people. Colin Kaepernick hates black people, but he's pretending to love them. And so this guy's Maj Touré posts this meme of the two guys on their knees, one on the neck and one on the anthem. And he says, solutionary. I guess he means revolutionary. Solutionary. Yeah, right. Like Colin Kaepernick is really about solutions, you disgusting liar. Versus the state, right? And the cop is the state with his knee on the neck of the poor black people, I guess, is what he's trying to imply. But that's a lie. So this guy supposedly, he's spoken at CPAC this past year. No, in March, I think. He spoke at CPAC, right? CPAC was in March. Wow, the dumb conservatives, the so-called conservatives, are so excited about a black guy who believes in the right to bear arms, right? The right to carry guns. Black Lives Matter founder Maj Touré speaks at CPAC. Luckily, it wasn't even 10 minutes long. I didn't watch it, though. But I Googled him, and this is what came up. And then he calls out Dems for racist gun control on Blaze TV, another kind of a rhino outlet. I mean, they're nice, right? The people at Blaze. But they're kind of rhinos, too. Get all excited about a black guy being for the Second Amendment. Black Guns Matter. Spiked means mag. I don't even know what that is. But anyways, that's this guy, Maj, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. But he is a hater. And it turns out, yes, he hates blacks, he hates whites, he hates Jesse Lee Peterson, who loves both blacks and whites and everybody, including Maj Touré. You heard it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. He calls, Jesse tweets about the black on white crime, specifically in the nursing homes, right? interracial violent crime committed majority by blacks at a rate of 80% or 90%. I don't know. Black on white crime. But Jesse Lee Peterson tweeted out a compilation of crazy incidents of blacks elder abusing people, right? Whites. And Jesse Lee Peterson tweeted, white people need to stand up for themselves and take back the country or we're doomed, which is true. You've seen how South America is no good either. South Africa is a mess. It used to be a thriving country somewhat, right? And now it's taking a dive as the black commies, the white-hating black commies take over. And then this guy calls him yet another goofy, self-hating statist. I wonder if self-hating has anything to do with Jesse Lee Peterson's biblical question of when people say, I hate my own people, that's what that means, what they mean by my people. No, there is no hatred in Jesse. Anyways, he also said, here's another hate-filled post by this disgusting guy, Maj Touré. Says, I want to give and I had to get Joel to translate this. I want to give an elder a stack to smack I forgot to black that out. the bleep out of Jesse Lee Peterson. So, and he said he's calling on some old guy because it's okay for old people to commit violent crimes, right? Is about that. So in short, Joel translated it to me. He said he wants to give a stack of cash to some older person to physically batter Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse would beat anybody up. So that's that evil person. And this is what the phony rhinos are all excited about. A black who still hates whites. And a black who actually hates blacks, even though he thinks he loves blacks. Because if you hate whites, you hate blacks. You don't love anybody. It's typical. It reminds me, actually, I saw this comment by my friend, Donning Armour, and it was auto-censored by YouTube. Of course, right? Anything that's edgy gets auto-censored by YouTube. But he commented, I give you, 2 days ago, Donning Armour gave me 4 names. He says, I gave you 4 names of whites viciously murdered, one of which was a 7-year-old white girl. And I think he's referring to murdered by blacks. And he said, anytime that we cover, anytime that there's a Ahmaud Arbery or whatever case of supposedly white on black killings, whether they're murders or not, we should bring up these names like this of whites killed by blacks. And I said, yeah, it's good to bring up white on black crime. I mean, black on white crime, because that's way more rampant and way more vicious and not covered. But we should also not identify with, oh, our side is the whites and their side is the blacks. No, our side we should be on the side of what's right. But he's still on the side of what's white because he said, and you dedicate your next show to an irate woman being harassed by a black punk. I don't know about you. And he said something else, but I couldn't read the rest of it because YouTube auto-censored it. I can't even access it except for seeing the notification. But I can't click into it and see it. What a mess, huh? Very typical of YouTube to censor a somewhat interesting discussion. Reminds me of Twitter. I know I'm going to get to Twitter and your calls. But siding with, like he said, that an irate woman being harassed by a black punk, I guess you could call it. I guess that's a description of it. I don't know if that's fully accurate, but whatever. This guy's not a punk. He was just a black, I guess you could call him a punk in terms of he's a nerdy punk. But there's a lot of people who want me to cover, because they agree with me generally on a lot of stuff. They want me to cover the stuff that's in their minds. But my mind is not on that stuff. I like lighthearted stuff. I haven't even shown the video of this guy with the knee on the neck or of the Ahmaud Arbery thing because I'm just not interested in digging up those videos. Not to mention the fact that YouTube is more liable to censor it if I do play it, right? So, wanting me to cover what he covered. It reminds me of Skip. Skip does that stuff too. The snake. My favorite snake. Oh, Mac Mars. I have informed Madge, and I hope he calls into you. Mac Mars. Mac Mars called in, supposedly from Brunswick, Georgia. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but he's saying that Lee Merritt, you know, that lawyer who's for Ahmaud Arbery's so-called family, which he doesn't have a family. He has a mother, and he has a father. They're not married. But he thinks that Lee Merritt is a good person when Lee Merritt's called it a lynching, what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, even though in normal lynchings, the black person is strung up for rape or robbery or murder, alleged, right? And then, and sometimes whites get strung up too, right? Back in the day, right? They used to get strung up. It was called street justice. I mean, it was what you would call street justice today, right? Which is not necessarily justice. And then he said that it was a modern day lynching and all this emotional black language. Lee Merritt does not love black people, Mac Mars. So you're a sucker. Anyways, let me get to some of these calls. And then I'll get to this Twitter's so-called fact check of Trump. And if I have time, this ex-Christian Instagram post, ridiculous. Adrian, out of Virginia. Adrian, what's up?
What's going on, Hake?
Hey. Not much.
Hey, man. Good show.
You're breaking up, Adrian. Hold on. Let me get to Louie. Just fix Adrian's phone for me, Nico. Louie, out of Idaho. Thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I used to visit my Oma every single day in the nursing home because you know what? She was nasty, and she was a nasty woman. And you know what? I wanted to make sure that no one hurt her.
Oh, wow.
She never got showers, things like that. You know?
Yeah. Are you Dutch or something?
Am I Dutch? I'm New Yorker.
You called her Oma.
Oma is Oma. It's grandmother in German.
Oh, okay. I learned
German
Oma.
Italian. Italian.
Okay, I learned Oma and Opa from like Dutch Indonesian people.
It was Papa. My Papa was my grandfather. He was Italian.
All right, cool.
My grandmother was German.
Yeah. You gotta. That's the risk you take when you put these people in the nursing homes. Because nowadays people are evil.
Yeah, they are. And you know what? That was scary. That was scary right there.
That footage of these blacks attacking the elderly white people?
Not just the blacks. I mean, everyone attacking. I mean everyone's guilty of it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. But blacks are disproportionately the violent ones. It's just a fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, you should look out for them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, be alert. Be aware of who you're trusting.
Yeah, this Amy Cooper thing, she was wrong.
Amy Cooper, the woman who freaked out when the black guy...
She was wrong. She was wrong by doing that.
Yeah. I agree with you. She was wrong to say, this black guy is threatening my life.
She's a Karen. What do they call them, a Karen nowadays?
They call him a Karen when they're meddling or something.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, she was wrong. I think that he was kind of wrong, too, because... Think about it.
He was kind of wrong. But you know what? She was more the way she shouted like that.
Yeah.
How come I don't know his name? I know her name.
Yeah, his name was Christian Cooper.
Christian Cooper.
He wasn't acting like a Christian though. Yeah. No relation. No relation, supposedly. Although her ancestors may have enslaved his, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
God put them together that day, huh? You know what? It's all political, though. It's all.
It is.
You know, I also believe that the reason this woman got fired is because of the politics of it. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she was going to lose, they were going to lose money because of her.
Right.
And you know what? They might hire her back in a month or two or whatever.
That would be nice. Who knows?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye. Adrian's call was just too messed up. Too messed up. And there was another person who called in who disagreed with me about Arbery. Call back if you like. But anyways, let me get to Twitter's so-called fact check of Trump. I told you guys in Hake News, end of hour 1. I was thinking of sharing it with you yesterday when I saw the tweets, but I didn't get to them because there was so much other news to get to. But Trump tweeted, he doesn't trust this vote by mail stuff, this push for mass vote by mail. Yes, he votes by mail, right? Trump does, and some other people legally and non-fraudulently, right? But other people vote by mail fraudulently. It's so common. And then I'm going to read your super chats and stuff. And nobody wants to look at it. The Democrats don't want to look at it, and their PR company, which is the liberal media, don't want to look at it. It's crazy. And so they call it unsubstantiated because they don't want to look into it. And some dumb woman said 0.00006% of mail-in ballots were fraudulent. The point of committing fraud is not to get caught. So how do you know that's the case? You don't, woman. Shouldn't even be involved in this mess. So if you can scroll through this ridiculous Twitter moment, Trump tweeted about it. He said it's wide open he said, there's no way, zero, that mail-in ballots will be anything less than substantially fraudulent. Mailboxes robbed, ballots forged, illegally printed out, fraudulently signed. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, the Democrat, disgusting guy, sending ballots to millions of people. And then you see this alert? Joel's showing you the tweet. It says, ! circled. Get the facts about mail-in ballots. And that's Twitter. That's unprecedented according to New York Post, which, New York Post is not exactly trustworthy. But it's unusual. They put a so-called fact check on Donald Trump's tweet. Here's the next tweet that he said. Do you have the part 2? Living in the state, no matter who they are or how they got there, meaning illegal is true, will get one. They will be followed up with professionals telling all these people, many of whom have never even thought about voting before, how and for whom to vote. This will be a rigged election. No way. And then, of course, Twitter fact-checked that tweet too, so-called. And so go ahead and just show this video 11, clip 11. I'm scrolling through this long, dumb fact checks. Trump makes unsubstantiated claim that mail-in ballots will lead to voter fraud. And they go, Tuesday, Trump made a series of blah, blah, blah. He falsely claimed that mail-in ballots would lead to a rigged election. That's a lie. How do you know it's false? It's a lie. Falsely claimed that California will send mail-in ballots to anyone living in the state. And they go on, Trump, who is increasingly, and they quote The Hill. I retweeted The Hill, but I didn't know that they said this. Who is increasingly levied unsubstantiated claims. The Hill is far left, by the way, about voter fraud, blah, blah, blah. Jennifer Jacobs, a dumb blue checkmark liberal. Washington Post, fact checkers. CNN, fact checkers, so-called fact checkers. Analysis. And then CNN's with their phony Chris Cillizza, as if he's one of the guys on CNN, always tweeting out mess and writing mess. Widespread election fraud that Trump is talking about is incredibly whatever. And then these dumb females on Twitter. Experts say that mail-in is more secure than voting in person. Yeah, right. And so these people fact-checking, this is false. Over the last 2 decades, there it is, that's the 0.0006. Others pointed out mail-in ballots are used in other states, which they are, which we shouldn't really have. We should go in person. Aaron Rupar, who's a liberal so-called journalist, 5 states, including deep red Utah. Jennifer Bowdery, Oregon, has been voting entirely by mail since '98. Governor Kate Brown is angry that Trump would insinuate this. The ACLU, Anti-American Civil Liberties Union of Nebraska, is saying 80% of Nebraskans voted supposedly by mail or something. Others have other issues with Trump's claims. Abby D. Phillip, the president keeps escalating his false claims about mail-in voting. What evidence? Oh, and this is a black woman who is a CNN correspondent, former ABC, and all these dumb things. Mail-in ballots will be robbed. Sam Levine also claims that it's false. No evidence that it's false. It just has to say it because they don't want to look into it. They call it a conspiracy theory. Daniel Dale says, Trump has repeatedly lied that illegal immigrants are voting en masse in California. How do you know? You don't know. Wow, it went dim all of a sudden. Anyways. Oh, shoot. Oh, he turned off a light. That's what happened. I was like, dang, the AC is really dragging on our power right now. Are we still streaming? And background on May 8th, Newsom pushed for a vote by mail, right? Disgusting. Newsom is the governor, so-called governor, with his silly-looking sign language person in the background, making him look as foolish as almost as foolish as he really is. Ronna McDaniel is pleased to announce NBC that the RNC, Republicans, are suing Gavin Newsom for his illegal election power grab because he doesn't have the right to do that. He doesn't have the right to push this vote by mail stuff. You know, voting in general, like you don't have to do voter ID. They called it racist. There's Trump. They called it racist. No evidence that is so-called racist. They just have to say it because I guess blacks are more likely not to have an ID, I guess. License suspended. I don't know what they mean by that, not to have an ID. More likely to be criminals. What a mess. They're just pushing all these lies. So you have the Democrats and the media both against what's right. And Twitter, by the way, is not for what's right. They censored me when Twitter censored me when they said, I said something like, oh, blacks kill twice as many whites as vice versa, which is true, which means they're like 11 or 12 times as likely to kill whites as vice versa, if you consider the population, right? Likelihood. The likelihood of a random black to kill a white person versus a random white to kill a black person, 11 or 12 times more likely a black person to kill a white person, right? And Twitter said that's inciting violence. And so they censored it. You know, this dumb woman, a Me Too woman, speaking of lies, right? I think I put this in here. Yeah, did I? Yeah, Alyssa Milano. She tweeted, because Trump tweeted, Twitter is now interfering in the 2020 presidential election, which is true. They are saying my statement on mail-in ballots, which will lead to massive corruption and fraud, is incorrect, based on fact-checking by fake news, CNN, and Amazon Washington Post. I read this to you guys in Hake News. Twitter is completely stifling free speech, and I, as president, will not allow it to happen. And then this dumb Alyssa Milano, who's a Me Too girl, she's like a Me Too actress, she said, nope, Twitter was just correcting your lies. And then I'm like, hold on. The Me Too movement is all about lies. And Twitter, what does Twitter do with the hashtag Me Too? They put this emoji of these female hands up over with a pink background. They make a fancy emoji connect or hashmoji. I don't know. I forget what you call it. And then they also put these black fists behind the hashtag Black Lives Matter, which the whole movement of Black Lives Matter is a lie. All scrutiny on the police and the whites, all scrutiny on the men, and no scrutiny on the women and the gays who make these accusations, and the blacks who make these false accusations. Twitter promotes these lies as true. They even have special emojis, right? And Twitter stifles facts put out by whites, males, conservatives, Christians. Twitter's not about the truth. I read to you guys during Hake News a few weeks ago, I want to say, all this list of all these people, prominent people too, suspended on Twitter. And that's not to mention all of the regular people like you and me who are not prominent people suspended on Twitter. Crazy, huh? Some of you permanently so. And some of you guys do say edgy stuff, but Twitter doesn't have, I don't know, whatever. But they are a politically motivated people. They're not about truth at all. So And of course, the New York Post wrote this dumb article because Trump tweeted about, did this MSNBC host Joe Scarborough, former Rhino, former congressman out of Florida, I think, he quit suddenly shortly after he was reelected, and then a few months later his intern died, and Trump's like, what's up with that? Because supposedly the story goes she just fainted and fell on a desk and the head injury, died. 27-year-old woman who used to run marathons. And then Trump is like, is there more to it? Because there were jokes flying around, including Joe Scarborough was in on it himself with Don Imus, who's a shock jock, saying, what happened? How come you quit the Senate or the House of Representatives? Joe Scarborough, you slept with the intern and had to kill her, which is a joke, right? And he laughed along with it. And then people are like, wait, the medical examiner makes these claims, but the medical examiner turns out to be a sketchy person. So what's the truth? And Trump is just asking questions, and they accuse Trump of accusing him of murder. Trump didn't accuse him of murder. He was just asking the questions. And meanwhile, they promote all kinds of conspiracy theories against Trump. And Mika and all these people want to act like Trump is the one who needs to be suppressed because he's putting out rumors. When they're constantly putting rumors out about people. This guy is maybe a racist. Anytime there's a white on black incident, there's maybe a racist. That's pure speculation. There's no evidence. But they just say it. Anyways, let me read a few super chats and get to the calls. Mo Betta says, LOL, cops are always trying to catch you riding dirty. True. He says, Diamond for the new Joel outro. Mic drops equals old now. Interesting. Mo Betta, and I'm censoring his last name because I don't know if that's his real last name. Ride to crime equals cake. Demanding no cops equals eating it too. Yeah. Beard the Butcher says, great show as always. Thank you, man. And Jib Jab says, wait for it. Hot Computer Smell says, James Hake on the path to an alpha back. Thank you. Yeah, I'm exercising. Can you tell? Joel's nodding his head. You can tell. I exercised yesterday. Can you tell? Lin Yun Chin says, hit the like and hike the hake to make a break. Nice. And he says, Joel, sorry about my inhumanity in asserting no big deal. He can breathe. It's only his brain not breathing. Robo Black detached. Yeah, Lin Yun Chin is emotionally detached from the sufferings of the black man in America. Oh, man. Let me get to Chris out of Illinois, first-time caller. Chris, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, Hake? My wife actually told me something, and I thought it was pretty profound, at least in the idea of, we had Joe Biden making a comment that was clearly, biased and racist as far as what we believe exists as racism.
Oh, yeah.
We have a white cop killing a black guy, and we have all this, racist stuff happening on the news.
And we don't even know for sure that he killed him. It looks like it might be related, but we don't know. We don't know the cause of death yet, officially.
But if there was any progression being made and waking up the black man from anything that's happened over the past week,
yeah,
it's just been erased now because the "Make Whites Great Again" hat guy he's for Trump, and we can't go for that.
Yeah, I mean,
but I thought that was pretty profound, and I think it's true.
Trump loves everybody, including whites. It's and these people don't love whites, and that's why they hate him. And he loves blacks enough to tell them a little bit of the truth. What do you have to lose? And
they're really trying to keep them. They're trying to keep them on the plantation. I actually see it now. They're trying to route them up like steer or something like that. Get them back to not paying any attention.
It is interesting how how controlled by the media people are, right? Why are we even talking about this story? Because the media hyped it. And of course, the blacks hyped it, and the media loves to show blacks out of control and pretend that they're not
They know
out
what they're
of control.
doing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Chris. All right. Yeah, Joe Biden said, if you're confused about whether to vote for Trump or me, then you ain't black. Which is not true. Because if you're confused, then you are black on the inside, because you are blinded by the fact that Joe Biden is pure evil. And Trump is generally standing for what's right. Appreciate that. Ahideller. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but thank you over on Facebook. Oh, by the way, I want to finish reading my Killing the SS book before I go back on Asmodor's show. Heads up, guys. Beard the Butcher, I know that you contacted me and I couldn't find it. I don't know how to work Telegram except to see the alerts. Okay, let me get to Donning Armour. I called him out a little bit out of California. Donning Armour, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, sir?
Going fine. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank
right
you.
on. You know, man.
I just wanted to.
Another comment, real quick, before you go in. You talked about these vicious murders. You also made the point that you don't like to watch a lot of these violent black on white incidents because they make you mad. And this type of stuff is partly why I'm not that interested in focusing on the black on white crime so much, because it's so common. It's almost like focusing on the endless stream of black on black incidents. It's like so common that my brain is tired to even consider it. And so I'm a little surprised that you want me to like cover these stories, although I understand it because, black on white crime is severely undercovered in the media. But since they make you angry, I would think that you would not want me to dwell on it much.
Yeah, absolutely, and not to mention that it's rather dark material, and it might make for a morbid podcast if you were to just talk about that.
Yeah.
But I apologize if my comments come off harsh at times. I know that I have a habit of doing that. I do appreciate the work that you guys do over there, and obviously I'm a fan of the show. I feel that what I'm trying to do is just give you positive or negative feedback. And
right on, man.
When I just think it's negative when you show these stories about this Ahmaud Arbery or this white woman that, let's be honest, she was harassed by a black dude and a cop to the point where she felt that she needed to call the police. And I'm not saying that she was in the right. She acted irate. She acted ridiculous. She embarrassed herself.
Yeah.
She didn't need to be fired. She didn't need to be doxxed. Possibly she's going to go on some, hate list and labeled as a Nazi and may have to move from whatever community she lives in.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, and it happens over and over again. And to talk about these stories while the terrible things are really being done to whites. And
right.
we see these stories every
But this
day.
is an example of the terrible thing being done to her as a white person. And this is like a harmless incident, really. It's harmless.
You didn't paint her as the victim.
There was, what's that?
I said you didn't paint her as the victim in
your
coverage.
Did. Yeah, I did. She was both the victim and she was wrong. Because I said the lynch mob came out after her.
Oh, okay.
You remember me saying the lynch mob?
No, but I
Yeah.
will take your word for it. You're an honest guy. But okay.
Yeah.
So that's fair. I just think covering the story at all, because really it's a non-story. I mean, it's just another idiot acting silly and making a fool of themselves. When there's so many bigger things, and you've got a large platform. I mean, you can change you can show the truth. You can go viral. Never mind covering these fake stories that go viral that have actually, no basis in reality.
But I picked it because it was something that caught my interest, and that's basically how I pick my my stuff. It's whatever catches my interest. I'm like, I want to cover this. And it was a lighthearted story because the video is funny. To me, the video is hilarious. Because
she really did
the black dude is so effeminate sounding. He's like, please don't come close to me. Like, polite and fake. And then she's such a liberal. And she gets so psycho and beside herself. I couldn't help but comment on that and then comment on the overreaction, the lynch mob that went after her. You remember when I told you about the white space that this Asian, her real name is Karen, this Asian woman, Karen Ho, came up with this thing, this is a white space incident where whites are trying to force the blacks out. When really, they had a disagreement and she picked an attribute about him that would be inflammatory because she was angry and freaking out, which is what human beings do. They pick up an attribute about you. They'd call you a fat blob or whatever you are. They're gonna pick out that attribute about you. If you're white, they'll call you racist just because you're white. And if the other person is, they just they'll say anything. So I love stories like that. I love stories because those are like everyday stories and you can relate to them. You can see how human beings overreact to each other and they put a name on it, racist, in order to hide the fact that both parties are wrong and only look at the one party and then put all the imaginary wrong on the one party. It's crazy. So I love stories like that.
Okay.
But maybe I could look around more. I appreciate the feedback on it. I shouldn't just chase the viral stories, but I'm not just chasing this story because it went viral. It went viral, so it caught my attention, right? Because it kept on coming across my feed. Or one time it came across my feed. I retweeted it. I watched the video. It's hilarious. And then I'm interested in what people are saying. The comments are ridiculous. So I just couldn't help but cover it. Karen Ho with no E at the end.
Yeah, I understand. Always entertaining watching people make fools of themselves, and it happens often, more often than it should. I
get your point, though. You made your point.
There's a wave of this type of activity where black people think if they can pull out their cell phones and harass white people, well, then they can get them doxxed and they can get them fired, and then they'll be the next Karen or. Are you okay?
No, yeah, I screamed because there was, I don't know if you heard the treasure chest opening, and sometimes it startles me.
Yeah, black people think that if they can pull their cell phone out and record it, that they're justified.
And I'm white, so I'm turning red. Sorry, man. Yeah, I totally get you.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
They've ruined white people's lives, and I don't think that we should be feeding into these types of stories. I think that's fair. Anti-white.
That's a fair criticism, man. I appreciate that. I don't know if I'm going to change, but I know. I accept
it's your show, sir,
feedback.
And it's your show, and I would never tell you, what to air on your own show. I mean, that would be that would be rude and ridiculous. So, I apologize. My comments come off harsh.
No problem. Nuh-uh. Yeah, I like YouTube comments. Especially including the ones that get censored automatically by YouTube, which is ridiculous. I love YouTube comments because I get to hear and see and read kind of what the people are really thinking. I love YouTube comments. Ben Carson made this comment about, if you look at the YouTube comments, and he's talking in 2015 or 16 when he was running for president, they're so harsh. And I'm like, oh, come on. I love YouTube comments because I want to know, as hateful supposedly as some people are, and I'm not saying your comment was hateful, but hateful as some people are, I love seeing that's what they're really thinking about this incident. So half the fun of going on YouTube is scrolling through the comment section and seeing what the people are saying. Anyways, man, appreciate you.
All right. Thank you so much. Hey, have a good one.
You too. Take care. Let me get to Lucas in Alhambra. Congratulations to the luckiest followers, too, by the way. Lucas, go for it.
Hey,
Hey, I just called yesterday. I'm going to make it quick. I know you only got a couple minutes.
Right on.
I just wanted to say about, I don't know if you already covered it, but the new information, it's on his Facebook post about the black guy with the dog, white girl with the dog, that he told her to, the way it started is that he told her to keep the dog on a leash.
Right.
Or go to the other side. Oh, you do know about it all.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah.
And she's no, it's too dangerous.
Yeah. So
he didn't, it was funny because he didn't leave and he didn't stop recording until she finally leashed her dog amid calling the cops, and he's all, thank you. He turned it off.
So he's the real Karen. Well,
they're both, he was kind of like that. Yeah, he's like, whatever. He's trying to, the rules are leash your dog. So and she wouldn't do it. And he's like, okay, come here, doggy, with the treat.
Yeah, and he carries
freaks
treats
her out.
on him. He carries dog treats on him. That's weird.
Just for such intransigence, I think is the word, which I haven't looked up yet, but I assume it means something
more like
along.
instigations or to instigate.
Appreciate it.
And then
go for it.
The cop with the knee. Who cares? He was a crackhead. They all knew him as a crackhead. He's been charged. Has been caught with crack on him. It's okay. We lost a crackhead in the world. So what?
Dang.
Like, that's it.
That's harsh,
really
man.
Care about that. I know, but yeah,
I say, let's let the people investigate what really happened, and hopefully there's some honest people in the investigation, so that they can figure out. Obviously, I'm pretty sure. I believe the alleged, the allegation, right, of he resisted arrest. Let's find out if the allegation that it was improper to be putting that knee on that neck for several minutes. He is human, bro.
Yeah, but he was on crack, and
I don't know if he was on crack. He appeared to be intoxicated, and according to Coldberger, who is a faithful supporter on Discord, Jesse Lee Peterson Discord, I think, anyways. He claimed, and I don't know if that's true. Let me know if this is true, that he kept on lifting up the cops. Maybe that's superhuman strength from drugs. Yeah. But I don't know. No. I was watching this guy who's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show multiple times, Brandon Tatum, former cop, and he said that there's this phenomenon in which, and Jesse mentioned it too, you're so high on the drugs and you're superhuman, when you're coming down, you can go all the way down into cardiac arrest and die. Dang.
Yeah.
And who knows if the cop helped this along? If he meant for the guy to die, I don't see evidence that this cop meant for the guy to die. I think he was just trying to make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, so definitely the people next to him weren't helping.
We'll see.
The people next to him were not helping. The people that were commenting and saying all that crap, it was just working him up more. I'm telling you,
I don't know.
The drugs killed him.
I didn't have a
knee on my neck.
They were staying kind of far away.
Yeah, I could go for minutes and minutes with a knee on my neck. I could go for 30 minutes with a knee on my neck and not
Dang.
die.
You're a wrestler?
No, but come on, it's a knee on your neck. How can you die by that? It had to have been the drugs.
I appreciate it, Lucas. Take care, man.
Yeah. You have a great one, man. Thank you for answering and taking the call.
You too. Take care. Rick and Maze, I don't know if I can get to you, but let me read these super chats. Lin Yan Chin says, those cops were incompetent in prioritizing discernment for the sake of minimizing detriment effect of applied force. They were clearly afraid, confused, and prioritizing their image. I'm not sure which incident you're referring to, because it's not a good image of having the cop's knee on the neck. It's not a good image for the cops, because even me, I'm a little squeam. I don't like blood and guts though. I'm a beta in that way. Mo Betta says, giving back to the church, also get Joel outro. I don't know, man. I'm not, it has to come from the heart, right? It has to be his own idea. Lin Yan Chin says, intransigence equals refusal to change one's views or to agree about something. He means ignorance, but didn't want to sound like a typical black, because blacks use the term ignorant way too much. Anyways, guys, appreciate it. And Take care. I will have the info. Well, if you want to read about that Christian, ex-Christian, check out Hake News. I will have the write-up on Hake News section of the HakeReport.com. Nice, huh? All right. See you guys. JesseLeePeterson.com for Jesse's stuff. RebuildingTheMan.com for Bond stuff. Make sure you're subscribed to Bond Rebuilding the Man. I'm going to try to work up a Bond Sunday service from 2009 for hopefully this evening. Nice little premiere for you. 5 p.m. my time here in Los Angeles on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel of a 1 hour Sunday service. Nice, huh? All right. Take care.